I pulled out an older project. I'm having my friend Kevin Bohling put down some guitar tracks, and the challenge is that I've moved to South Carolina and he's in Florida, so trying to get those tracks recorded and back into Sonar has been somewhat of a challenge. So what I've done is I ended up sending him one of these little Tascam, was it a DP08EX? It's a little digital multi-track recorder. I just shot that down to him with a stereo mix down of this song that we're working on, and he laid over some solos and background vocals and shot it back to me. So what I wanted to show is actually some of the automation that I end up doing on mixes. This is one of the questions I kind of get often, and I really haven't talked about a whole lot. But, you know, aside from your normal finding your EQ space for instruments, most of my time is actually spent on automation and ducking things out. So what we have now, I've just kind of isolated a few guitar tracks to kind of show what I'm doing with them, and one of the background vocal tracks. One of the things I do often as I'm building guitar tracks is if you just have all your tracks in the mix, you end up with a very muddy mix that doesn't have much focus. It's not really muddy, it's just so busy, nothing really stands out. So I kind of use the analogy of carving away things to make other things stand out. So if, for example, Kevin put in this kind of rhythm guitar power chord in a couple places that actually, after I heard it, I really liked how it sounded. I ended up throwing a wah pedal on it, so you see this envelope for the wah envelope. But just throwing it in the mix with everything else, it really didn't stand out the way I wanted it to. So when that section comes in, I just slightly duck down the main guitars a little bit. Likewise, when we go into a solo section down here, I bring the main guitar section down just a couple dB just to give the solo some space. So instead of boosting the solo, I'm kind of cutting away the things underneath the solo. The end result still sounds the same volume because you're only cutting a couple dB, so it really doesn't sound like you're cutting away things, but it does give presence to those things that you're trying to show. So let's just go ahead and play this and we'll give it a listen.
That
All right, so there we have it. Still very much a work in progress, but I wanted to put this out there so Kevin could kind of hear the pieces that he sent me. They're turning out really, really awesome. Still got some more work to do. I know Vance has got the tracks, and I'm going to see if he can do another set of drum tracks on them, because what I have now are the original tracks that were recorded with the very bad microphones in, I think, 2005 or 2006, and I ended up using triggers to replace the kick and snare drum and toms with some digital stuff. So I'm hoping I can get a new performance from him on this as well. But anyway, just wanted to share a work in progress and show you some of the envelope work that goes into making a mix when I'm working on these things. I may end up making another tutorial on how you get your projects out of the Tascam DP08EX and into Sonar. That's actually an interesting topic in itself, but not as difficult as you think it would be. So enjoy. Have a good day.